Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create quotations within textual and image documents and how to quote them using 4 different approaches. But before I start, I would like to remind you that basically I assume that whatever data segment that I select is an important data segment. In fact, it is a quotation, and I code those quotations for you. So just to save the time, I don't read the text, the content of the documents, and I just assume that whatever I select is an important data segment. All right. So to start, I just open this document number 3, D3, and to create a quotation, you just need to highlight the important data segment. So I just click here, drag and drop my mouse. And now you can see that this area has been selected. As the next step, you need to right click here and select create free quotation. And now you can see that this quotation has been created here and it has a number. The number is 3-1, which means the first quotation in document number 3. And if you look at here, you can see that the first quotation has been created under document D3. Let's create another one. Maybe this paragraph is an important data segment. I just click, drag, and then release my mouse. Right click, create free quotation. Now this is the second quotation, and the number of this quotation is 3-2, which means the second quotation in document number 3. And now you can see these quotations here. I can simply double click on any of these to switch between these two quotations. All right, let's create a quotation for the image file. Let me open it, this one, document 4, and just maximize it a bit. All right, zoom in. Okay, so let's just assume that this area is important in this photo, in this image. So I just click, drag, and then release my mouse. Again, right click and select create free quotation. Or maybe this area is important. Right click, create free quotation. So here again you can see that I have two quotations, quotation 4-1 and quotation 4-2. And if I click here again, I can see these two quotations. I can simply switch between my quotations. Whatever quotation that you double click, immediately ATLAS.ti will show you that particular quotation. All right, now let's focus on one of these PDF files. Okay, just double click. Let me zoom in. All right, just imagine that this area I select, drag, and then release my mouse up to here is an important data segment. I just click, right? I just select this area, right click, and select create free quotation. And now you can see that again the number of this quotation is 5-1, which means the first quotation created in document number 5. Let me select this one, this area, these 2 lines only. So right click, create free quotation. Now you can see that I have this quotation here. If I click on any of these quotations, the text is also highlighted. If I click here, I can see these two quotations that I have created. I can switch between these quotations, not only within this document, but also within all the documents. I just need to double click on any of these quotations and immediately ATLAS.ti will show these quotations to me. Okay, so we have created 6 quotations so far. 2 quotations in document D3, 2 quotations in document D4, and 2 quotations in document D5. Let me just code these quotations. So I just come here, and to code this quotation, what you need to do is to right click on this quotation here, and then there is one option here, coding. Alright, there are 4 possibilities here. Actually 3 of them are active for right now. You will see later on that why the other one is not yet active. Alright, so I just select this one, open coding. When you select open coding, what happens is that one window appears on the screen, and you can simply key in your you can simply key in the code for this quotation. For example, let's assume that this quotation that has been selected is basically about, the content is basically about leadership. Maybe it is also about management. So you can assign 2 codes to this quotation. There is no problem. You can assign even 3 quotations. It's up to you. As long as the codes that are assigning to this quotation are relevant, you can just code this quotation with those codes. So let's just assume that this quotation is also related to administration. Alright, if I click on create, what happens is that these 3 codes are assigned to this quotation. Now I have created 3 codes here, and if I just come to the Explorer section here, I can see that the 3 codes that I have created are displayed here. The first one, the second one, and the third one. And as you can see, when you create the codes, again the statistics here are immediately updated. So I have 3 codes here, and you can see the groundedness and the density. Groundedness, remember I told you the first value for a code is the groundedness. It means how many quotations are connected to this code. So you can see that the groundedness value for all of these 3 codes is 1. It means that there is only one quotation, which is quotation 3.1, that is connected to these 3 codes. Alright, let's just code this one, the second quotation. Alright, now you can see that this quick coding is selected. In the next, I will show you how it works, but just allow me to select open coding again here. Alright, let's just assume that this paragraph is about change, and also it's about transformation, and it's also about reform. All right, so I'm trying to assign, what I'm doing is that I am just assigning these 3 codes to this quotation. If I click on create, you can see that I have these 3 codes connected or assigned to this quotation, and now the value here has been updated. Now I have 6 codes in this project. And again, you can see that the groundedness of all of these 6 codes is 1. It's because these codes are just connected or assigned to one quotation. All right, now let's go to this PDF document here. All right, this time I select the first quotation in document D5, which is 5.1. I just right click on that, and this time rather than open coding, I select list coding. And what happens here is that ATLAS.ti will show me a list of all the codes in this project, and this time rather than keying in the codes, I can select any of these codes to be assigned to this quotation. So let's just assume that this paragraph or this quotation 5.1, is related to change and administration. So I just select these 2 and then click OK. Now you can see that I didn't key in any new codes, but what I did was that I just selected 2 codes that I had previously created. So if you look at the statistics here, you can see that now the groundedness and the groundedness for change and groundedness for administration has changed to 2, which means that there are two quotations that are connected to these two codes. So you can see that automatically all of these statistics are updated. This is, I think, one of the most amazing things related to ATLAS.ti. Everything is automatically updated. So how about this quotation? I just right click on this, and this time I select again, I select quick coding. Oh, sorry, let me just redo that. All right, I select open coding again, and now I just key in my codes. For example, innovation. Let's just assume that this quotation is just related to innovation. I just click on create. Now I have 7 codes, and then this is the new code that I created. The groundedness value is 1, which means that this code is assigned only to one quotation. Let's go to our image document. Here again we have 2 quotations. Let's focus on this. All right. Now in this example, if you look at here, you can see that the last code that I created is innovation. Now, if I right click here, if I right click on this quotation and then select quick coding, what happens is that you can assign the last code, which in this particular example is innovation, to the current data segment, to this quotation. So if I select quick coding, this quotation is coded with the previously used code or codes. So in the last code that I assigned to my quotations was innovation, and using quick coding, I managed to code this new quotation with the code innovation. And again, why it was coded by innovation? Because innovation was the last code that I had used to code any quotations in my project. Now again, if I right click here and select quick coding, again this quotation will be coded with innovation. So I just click here, right click, select the quick coding, and now you can see that it has been coded with innovation. All right, you can also right click on this quotation and select maybe list coding or open coding. It's up to you. If you think that this area is related to innovation and also it is related maybe to transformation, you can simply do list coding, select transformation, and then click OK. And now you can see that this transformation has been added as a code to this, has been assigned to this quotation. In addition, if you right click and you select open coding, still you can define new codes to be assigned to this quotation. For example, teamwork, maybe success. All right, and also contribution. Okay, if I click on create, you can see that all of these codes are assigned to this quotation. So for this particular quotation, I used quick coding to code this quotation. I used list coding to code this quotation, and I also used open coding to code this quotation. And again, if you look at these values here, you can see that by the way, we have 3 quotations that have been coded with the code innovation. So let me just close this. If I double click on this innovation code, I can see the quotations that are coded with this code. So I just select on any of these quotations, and you can see the quotations in your project that has been coded with the code innovation. If I select leadership, immediately you can see that this is the quotation, and it's the list of the quotation, because there is only one quotation, so it is not actually a list, it's just one quotation. But if you just click on that, you can see this quotation here. Also, transformation, you can simply switch between these two quotations. All right, the last approach to coding that I'm going to talk to you about it in this video presentation is in vivo coding. And you can consider using in vivo coding when the text itself contains a useful and a meaningful name for the code. In fact, I can tell you that to my experience, it is a good idea if you use this approach to code only short sentences or short quotations, particularly less than 40 characters. So let's just try this in vivo coding. Let's just find a short phrase like here. For example, this title here. If I select this area, and if I right click here and select in vivo coding, what happens is that the name of this short quotation, which is certainly less than 40 characters, again I remind you, it's better if you just use this type of coding for any quotations less than 40 characters. Otherwise, if the text is too long, then it is trimmed only to 40 characters, and then the code that is created may not seem to be meaningful. So if I select in vivo coding, what happens is that the entire text, which is less than 40 characters, becomes the code. Let me just try another one. Research methodology. Right click and then use in vivo coding. So research methodology is actually we managed to code this quotation, this short quotation, which is less than 40 characters, with the words that actually build this phrase. So research methodology is a new code for this research methodology that is a quotation. All right, now if I select this area, and if I select, just to review, if I select quick coding, what happens is that because this research methodology is the last code that I have used, so if I select quick coding for this quotation, what happens is that this quotation is coded with recent methodology, because recent methodology was the lastly assigned code to a quotation in this project. All right, so what we did here is that we managed to create 12 codes, and a few of them has been assigned to one quotation, like this one. If I double click, I can see the quotation here. A few of them have been assigned to three quotations like this. I can simply switch between these three quotations. I can see them within the documents, and a few of them are also has been assigned to two quotations like this one, and you can simply switch between these two. We also learned how we can create codes using open coding, code in vivo or in vivo coding, list coding, and quick coding. Alright, we also managed to create a few quotations here, and let me just show you something else. If I click on this quotation here, again I can see the codes that have been assigned to this quotation. So you can see that everything are displayed in a kind of hierarchical format, and by clicking on these small triangles you can just see what are the codes that have been assigned to this quotation. So here also there are 3 codes that have been assigned to this quotation, and you can see that here. Alright, let me close this. Alright, so this concludes this video demonstration, and in the next video I'm going to show you how you can do the same, but this time focusing on audio and video documents. Thank you very much.